Good morning. I hope everyone had a good weekend. I hope everyone is looking forward to the new book that we're going to be reading. I think that Ordinary Grace is probably my favorite out of the books we've done, but I think Trail of Lightning is an awesome book as well, and it will take us in a far different direction than The Life We Bury and Ordinary Grace or Henrietta Lacks. Although, ironically, there are little elements of all three books that I think we're going to be able to talk about as we make some connections with Trail of Lightning. But it is a fantasy as opposed to a detective novel, and the immortality that we're going to deal with here is the immortality of the gods and immortality at a fantasy level rather than the immortality of cells. What's coming up? Group B, you're supposed to be in class today. I hope you're all here. And we're going to talk about the Trail of Lightning paper. This presentation will be pretty short because we're going to be doing the quiz over Ordinary Grace. We're going to remember that the Ordinary Grace book review is due by 11:59 on Wednesday. I hope that by now I have all the papers looked at. If not, they should be done by the middle of this afternoon. Friday, Writing Lab D, Aaron, Jonah, Dale, and Rachel. Then we're just going to keep going with Ordinary Grace. By the 30th, we'll be Writing Lab E. And I think that all of you should be thinking about the paper that we're working on now and have questions about it and perhaps even have a bit of a start on it as we go through and look at which option you've chosen, what you think you want to do to answer the prompts. The basics. Like always, a 3 to 4 page paper. It's due May 8th, which I believe is a Saturday. It's due at noon, not at 11:59 p.m., at noon. And place the paper in the formal papers folder in your Google Drive folder. Same basics as always, except the time's a little bit earlier, but this is a Saturday, not a Friday night. The paper is going to talk about character, conflict, connection, and theme. It's a rubric I have used all semester, and because it's something we've done all semester, it seems to me to be something that would be worthwhile putting into the final paper and helping make the connection to everything we've talked about this semester and dealing with the final paper. Option 1 will be character development. On page 15 of the novel, Maggie says, "It was a narrow road that I walked because my fate wasn't decided yet. I could be a monster slayer or a monster." At the novel's conclusion, is Maggie a monster slayer or a monster? And I think I want you to understand that you have to use the whole novel, not just the conclusion, the whole novel. And the gamble she makes at the end of the novel, is that the monster slayer gamble, or is that just a cold-blooded monster gamble? Concrete details from the novel throughout the novel, beginning, middle, and end of the novel, to support your assertions. Remember that character development takes into account the character's appearance. How does Maggie dress? What are her facial expressions? Does her hair or the scars or the way she smiles or sneers or any of her other physical characteristics reveal her personality? Remember, character development is, who is this person? And does her appearance help tell us who she is? Again, we judge a person's personality in the real world by their actions, by how they speak. So, what does she do? What does she say? Are there words or phrases that she repeatedly uses that reveal who she is? Does she reveal herself to us by how she speaks? Obviously, we try to take our cues from other people and how do other people react to the character. And these reactions can be verbal, they can be physical reactions. And again, how does the character react or react to the situations. And again, I think I could add on here, what does the character say? Always remember that. You know, how does the character talk? How does the character act? Does the character's appearance tie in with who the character is? And again, use the whole novel, beginning, middle, end, the whole novel, to explain to me whether she is a cold blooded monster or whether she is somebody who has chosen the light, chosen to be a monster slayer. And again, please, 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 analysis is how the details support your conclusion. Don't just list what the details are. Explain how the details support your conclusion. That's the analysis. That's the critical thinking. That's the critical writing that this class is supposed to be about. Option 2 is conflict and theme. In a separate article, and I've got the link here, that link will also be on the prompt that's posted on D2L. Roanhorse, the author, has written, "To be a native of North America is to exist in a space where the past and the future mix in a delicate swirl of the here and now." I think we've seen past and future, or at least past and present in Lax. I think we've seen past and future in Ordinary Grace. This is a little different. We stand with one foot always in the darkness that ended our world, and the other in the hope for our future as Indigenous people. It is from this apocalyptic in-between that the Indigenous voices in speculative fiction speak. Explain how Trail of Lightning illustrates how the past and future mix to show the darkness that ended our world and provide hope for the future. So, in other words, is this an optimistic novel? And if it is an optimistic novel that provides hope for the future, how does it do it? And does it show how the past, the darkness that ended the world for Native Americans, does it show how that is necessary for how life is in the present? And remember, this will be a book set in the future. So, past and future, how does this all tie together? Dealing with conflict and theme, remember that a statement of theme that the novel develops. The theme should illustrate how the mixing of the past and future helps the novel illustrate the split between the darkness of the past and the hope for the future. Explain how the resolutions to the conflicts the novel develops create the theme. Remember that all conflicts can be internal and external. That's it. That's everything in the presentation. You're either going to deal with Maggie's character, or you're going to talk about the conflicts and how the conflicts create a theme, and how that theme is tied with one foot in the past and one foot in the future. Those of you watching this should be in Group A. We'll have time with one question, one comment sections in class. People will be able to ask this thing repeatedly before the paper is due. Hope everybody has a good week. And those of you watching, we'll see you in class on Wednesday.